Hi, I'm Stephen Rembus, and this is my EDUC 526 Capstone final video. After receiving my bachelor's degree in business administration from California Baptist University and working in the business sector for the past 15 years, I was looking for a change. A lot of the things I enjoy doing revolves around coaching and teaching. I have 6 years of coaching experience, and I taught the youth group at the Rock Church of Temecula Valley for 7 years. As I was contemplating a career change, I really felt that I was being led to teach. I chose APU for my master's degree because I enjoy attending a college that teaches from a Christian worldview. The reason I chose the digital teaching and learning program is because I believe that technology plays an important role in the educational process and is an excellent way to keep students engaged. Throughout this process, I learned a lot about how to use technology in the classroom, from the smartboard to a lot of the apps like Socrative and Kahoot, which can be found on the web and the App Store. After completing the digital teaching and learning program, I've been given a toolbox with so much information, and this program will definitely be a benefit to my new career. EDUC 511 is the foundation course for the digital teaching and learning program. Here I learned about and set up my LiveBinder website. LiveBinder is an organizational platform that allowed me to organize all of my work throughout the digital teaching and learning program. In EDUC 511, I also developed my teaching philosophy. My teaching philosophy has not changed throughout this program. I still believe relationships and classroom management are the two most necessary aspects of teaching, and everything else will be built around these concepts. In EDUC 511, I discovered what my learning goals for the digital teaching and learning program were, and I'm happy to report that after completion of this program, 2 of the 3 learning goals were met, and in hindsight, I probably would have chosen a different third goal. In retrospect, I learned so much in this program, I accomplished far more than the 3 learning goals I had set in EDUC 511. In EDUC 512, I learned about the hardware that is used in the classroom, such as the smartboard and the document camera. Both of these tools and others like it are very useful in the classroom. Some other key topics in EDUC 512 are Web 2.0 and the abilities and uses of the iPad in the classroom. The signature assignment for EDUC 512 was to design a web quest. A web quest is an inquiry-oriented activity in which most or all of the information used by learners is drawn from the web. EDUC 512 was an informative class in how we can utilize technology effectively in the classroom. EDUC 514 was by far my favorite class. Originally, I thought this class was going to show me how to utilize video that was already available. It scared me half to death when I found out I had to create the video myself in this class. I learned a lot in EDUC 514. I learned about the importance of camera shots, the rule of thirds, and how music influences a scene. One of my favorite classes was when we watched a clip from Pirates of the Caribbean with different background music. It was crazy how the mind perceives the same scene differently just because the style of music is different. As an introvert, I thought I was going to hate this class, but as I mentioned earlier, this was my favorite class in the program. I found out that I really enjoyed creating video, and even though I have a lot to improve on, I'm not afraid to put my video creations out there. EDUC 515 is a course on evolving educational technologies. In this class, we explored why some emerging technologies last and some fade away in the sunset. In this class, I investigated the concept of the flipped classroom and its effectiveness. EDUC 515 introduced me to many different technologies and how they can be implemented in the classroom. EDUC 515 provided a tremendous amount of information in technology and how technology can enhance teaching both inside and outside of the classroom. EDUC 522 was definitely a beneficial class for my teaching career. In this class, I learned about Gardner's multiple intelligences and how each of us learn. Before this class, my lessons were geared more towards verbal linguistic learners. Now my lessons utilize other multiple intelligences such as musical and bodily kinesthetic. In EDUC 522, I also learned how to incorporate technology into my lessons while remaining true to the incorporation of the multiple intelligences. There are so many websites and apps that are available for educational use, it's almost overwhelming. However, the main takeaway is if I only find a few good apps or websites to use, it will help out a lot. The signature assignment for this class was to create a 3-week unit plan which included all of Gardner's multiple intelligences and the use of some kind of technology for each lesson in the unit. While this was a daunting task, I learned a lot from it, and now I have a unit ready for polynomials. If EDUC 511 is the foundation, EDUC 526 is the culmination of what was built on that foundation. Through this class, I revisited my journey through the digital teaching and learning program. From the beginning of this program until now, I feel that I have grown a lot academically and professionally. In EDUC 526, I revised the unit plan created in EDUC 522, and now it includes a section for teacher prep, instructional format, and differentiation for GATE, ELL, and special education students. Although this was a lot of hard work, I now have a unit plan that can be useful to teach all levels of students. What I realized through this project is that most of the strategies I used in the lessons already differentiated for the different levels of students, especially for ELL and special education students. As this chapter of my journey concludes and another begins, I believe the digital teaching and learning program has provided me with the tools to be a successful teacher. And although I still have a lot to learn, I am off to a great start. As part of the EDUC 526 course, one of the assignments was to do an action research report. For this assignment, I chose to research how to lower high blood pressure. I chose this topic for a few reasons. The first reason is because high blood pressure is hereditary in my family. The second reason is I was diagnosed with stage 2 hypertension about 4 years ago. Finally, at the time of this assignment, I wasn't taking any medication and I wasn't feeling good, so I decided to take a blood pressure reading, and if I was at a doctor's office, the result would have landed me in the hospital. I knew there were 3 ways I could start to lower my blood pressure: medication, exercise, and diet. But being my stubborn self, I chose to focus on medication and exercise. My first step was to get a baseline reading before any type of intervention. That was the reading that would have put me in the hospital. My next step was to introduce medication back into the mix. I began taking my medication on day 2 and continued daily, with a couple of exceptions, for 27 days. The final step was to implement exercise into the program. On day 15, I began riding my bike daily, again with a few exceptions. Altogether, I exercised for 10 days. The results of this experiment were not all that surprising. Including the first reading, I had 10 measurements in stage 2 hypertension, all of which occurred in the first 2 weeks. I had 14 measurements in stage 1 hypertension, which occurred mostly in the last 2 weeks. In addition, I had 3 measurements in pre-hypertension and 1 normal measurement that were spread out through the 28 days. The results were a little disappointing but realistic. The takeaway from this project is that I need to continue taking my medication and exercising, and as much as I hate to admit it, I need to start watching what I eat and losing weight.
Oh hey, you're still here?